Hello, and welcome to Token Minority Report on Unsafe Space. I'm your host, Beverly J. Clark. And here with me tonight is someone you may recognize from other Unsafe Space shows, such as Covfefe Break and Deprogrammed. He's the nerdy ANCAP we all know and love, Carter Laren.
Oh my God.
Hi,
Uh,
Carter.
for relaxing times, Beverly, make it
Yeah.
Suntory time. What's the show
Yeah.
about? What's up with
Oh,
this?
first though, look at him, guys. Look, this is casual Carter. This is he's relaxed, laid back, awkward, different camera angles. This is Carter in his natural habitat.
Beverly made me go get a chair that leans back with arms. And the pre-show conversation was, I'm having trouble relaxing. But, it
Yeah,
is
and
what it
now he
is.
looks uncomfortably comfortable.
Oh, I'm
Uh
good. I'm good.
yeah. So for this show, the plan for this show is I'm going to choose a mystery topic for each episode and we're going to just have a chill conversation about it. If it veers off topic, that's fine too. We'll talk for a while, try and get involved with chat if there's chatting going on. But I'm bad at listening to Carter and reading chat at the same time, so we'll see how that goes. Um, and before I reveal the topic, I just want to introduce myself for those who don't know me. I edit the clips for Unsafe Space and help out with other videos and back end work. I'm currently in Chicago. I moved here for improv and sketch comedy, and I have never been woke, but most of the people here I know are. And I think I currently label myself as a constitutional minarchist, which is kind of like getting close to ANCAP, but not yet. And
You've got
yes,
time. It's all right. You're young still. You'll get there.
yeah, we'll see. And I am ethnically ambiguous.
Are you?
So yeah, people didn't know. We've talked about
Um,
that. I mean, you know what I am now because I've
I
told
know.
you, but you didn't know.
Eskimo.
I've gotten people thinking
Have you?
that before. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
all right.
I've gotten a little bit of everything. So
Well, whatever you are, here's to your token minority status on the channel.
thanks. I've got a Mike's Hard Lemonade brought to
Nice.
you by.
So this
Oh,
is basically just a drinking show?
yeah. Apparently. No, so the topic for tonight is something that is close to my heart. It's something you just recently got into,
Oh,
Carter.
God.
Dungeons and
Dungeons and
Dragons.
Dragons. Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to talk about the campaign that we're doing, and I also can bring in some cultural stuff here too, because we can talk about how D&D has gone woke.
I heard that it had gone woke, and I think I saw some stuff about it, but I didn't really know the details. Um, yeah, how do you want to start? You're the boss. I'll just answer questions. I'll shut up.
Oh no, I mean you could talk. What have you heard about it?
I think I saw some sort of character sheets that were like you could fill out. What did I see? You could like fill out topics that were triggering for you or something, so that the dungeon master wouldn't do certain things. I saw some kind of like
Yeah.
sheet for this. Yeah.
No, I think I've seen, yeah, I remember hearing about that too. My biggest thing is recently they talked about how half orcs are racist because, or just orcs in general. Sorry, just orcs.
Oh, orcs in
Orcs, it's
general are
race.
racist. Why is
Yeah,
that? Because
orcs.
they're very much
Well,
like white people, and that bothers them.
no, they think they're the black people.
I
So,
I know.
yeah. Well, I'm saying
They're
it's
not like
so
any people, but they would only get upset if they associated them with people of color. So,
right. I and that's just the most offensive thing, though,
hmm
that like no one's looking at orcs as that, or at least that I'm aware of, that they're equating them to black people because why? Like orcs are traditionally seen as like big evil savages that destroy everything. Like so who is
I'd be pretty
thinking that
offended
like
if I were black about that one. I guess.
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty offensive. thing.
Yeah, but just for them to think that that's the relationship, because like I would never, I don't know, I would never consider that.
But
So
the
I just
leftists
thought,
do that a lot. They
yeah,
have some like racist stereotype or some sort of trope that's completely racist that they actually believe, and they project it onto someone else, and then they accuse that other person of doing something racist when the other person's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Or they're just orcs. They're not even human. This has nothing to do with humans. This is not about race. This is called
right.
fantasy.
Yeah. I mean, they already have humans in D&D too, like, and they are all colors as far as I know. Um, so I think it's already unnecessary. And it's not even just in D&D. So Wizards of the Coast owns Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, which I'm not as familiar with the card game. I've played like once, but they my boyfriend has also told me that like they've gone woke too because there are like certain cards that got banned, and
Oh,
I think there's one that's like called Crusade, which is apparently all white creatures get +1, but it's because the decks have different colors. Like so, like you have the white deck and the blue deck and red and black,
oh, I
and they
see.
each kind of do different things. So, but they're like, well, you can't have white power, I guess.
Do you think that they must like? I imagine that some of the upset with Dungeons and Dragons is that different races have different characteristics, and I think the woke religion rejects the idea that there are any racial differences. That they to them it's all social construction. So the idea that there are races with different characteristics is in and of itself perpetuating some heresy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just having any, yeah, showing any differences at all. And that's just kind of how with D&D you have all the racial traits. Like when you were building a character, you chose like your one, you get bonuses to certain things because that's just kind of what your race does. And that was something that my boyfriend and I were talking about recently too, is like, well, you really don't have to. The biggest thing as dungeon master, the person who runs the game, is that you can do anything you want. So you can just run it like you can make it uh, the racial bonuses however you want. One of the things that I do kind of agree with what Wizards of the Coast did was that they took away the alignments of monsters, or they're going to. So like when
What
you
does that
have
mean?
all, so you have like good and evil characters, and or so a lot of the races that you play too already have that. But with monsters, you might have like the chromatic dragon colors are, I might be mixing this up. The chromatic dragon colors are all bad evil, but the metallic dragons are good. So you have like red, black are evil, gold and silver are good, and they just kind of have like this flat, like yes, you're good, you're evil, and that's how they play the game. And I, as someone who likes free will and individualism, I don't play it that way. I just take it like any monster or character has the choice to be good or bad. So I already just never use that. So I'm kind of okay with that decision, but at the same time, I also understand as a game, just for the mechanics, it's easy to say like I'm going to choose this bad guy and I'm going to choose this good guy and like and
Right.
throw them in. So like it's fine either way. But again, so they didn't really need to change anything because the dungeon master can change it however they want. And if you're going to be upset by a game, then don't play it and stop canceling it.
Yeah. Um, should we back up? Like, does everyone know everything about D&D? I don't know.
Probably not. I mean,
Because I'm
it's
kind of I'm
gotten,
like sort of a newbie, but not like I have a weird D&D relationship. So like I don't know what
yeah,
everyone else knows about D&D. Is that a like
right.
is it does everyone in chat know everything about D&D? Is this like a
We can
comprehensible
go over
conversation?
the basics. Yeah, I feel like it's gotten. I think people will. They know the name. They might not know any details if you've never played. But Dungeons and Dragons is a tabletop role playing game. So the way I see it is kind of like if you know what improv comedy is, or not to say comedy, but like if it's improv around a table. So you are just playing pretend while sitting at a table with some other people and in usually a fantasy world. And then someone runs the game. The dungeon master plays the world. So you play a
Like the
character.
god of the world.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how they refer to it a lot, as like the god, or just like all the side characters, all the NPCs, which is why NPCs aren't just for video games. They're in a lot of other things.
Didn't they start out with? I thought NPC was non-player character that started out in role-playing games, not video games.
Probably. I mean,
Yeah.
I think role play. I don't know history of that well, but I would imagine storytelling games started before video games. Um,
Well,
but
obviously,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know how much they had non-play. Yeah, but as the DM, then you're playing the world. Like I react to what the characters are doing, and I have the world around it. So I would play like the merchants or the bad guys and everything. But I think that's the basic gist of D&D. It's super nerdy, um, but if you like playing pretend and rolling dice, that's a big thing too. You get to roll a bunch of different shaped dice, and then you're storytelling together. And it's a lot of random chance with the dice.
I think it's hugely valuable for kids. Um, just it it really helps engage because kids now, right? They just sit back and they passively accept programming from Netflix or whatever, right? But it's a or even a video game. It's very very structured, but it like really helps kids. I think it helps. I know this is gonna people are gonna laugh because the stereotype of D&D people are is that they're nerdy and socially awkward, but I think it helps actually with their social interaction. Like it helps them be able to talk to other
Absolutely.
people, and it helps them tell stories. It helps them figure out what is compelling and what's not, and it helps them deal with fairness issues and negotiation. Like actually super it's a super valuable game for kids to play. I encouraged my daughter to play it. My relationship with it is I had never played
I
until my
know. And
daughter played, and she needed a DM, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I'm like, I guess. And so every
oh, so
birthday
you DM'd?
party, she would play
Oh.
D&D, and I would be the DM, and like, um, yeah,
But you
just yeah.
you haven't played a character before the one we
This is the
started,
first
right?
time, so we're playing
Okay.
internally. We're playing a D&D Unsafe Space D&D game that Beverly's running. She's the dungeon master. It's the first time I've played a character ever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see, that's what I was thinking. Like I took your D&D virginity as far as a
sure.
player character goes. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, absolutely. I think from stuff that I've even seen like online with people talking to some people who are socially awkward in real life, you get to be and pretend to be another character. This gives you a time to just pretend to be someone else, and so they can get really like. And I think I've had some friends too who might be a little bit shyer in real life, but then get into character and then are playing these like bigger personalities, and I think that's really cool to just kind of help boost confidence and stuff too. And then in other things that I've seen on read from people online too about just like, oh, they feel some of them feel better in real life too, that they can get that confidence, or sometimes not, but they're at least feeling better about having this social group that they can nerd out with.
Yeah, I think like there's a in the U.S. there's a like nerds are bad in high school and junior high school. Like if you're smart and good at school, or if you're nerdy in junior high school or high school, you don't get the girl. Like that's not how that works. You get shunned and ostracized. But that's not true in other parts of the world. Like in China, if you want to be the cool person in China, you're the valedictorian. You're the
Yeah.
nerd. And it turns out, which is a conversation I've had with kids before, it turns out actually that after school's over, being a nerd is actually a advantage in life. So it might suck in junior high school, but uh, all the people who were kind of low IQ idiots in junior high school, they don't do well. And I don't like the trope that smart is necessarily socially awkward. I think that trope is perpetuated by people who aren't smart because that's not true elsewhere.
Mhm.
It's not true in other countries. It's just the stereotype we have here.
I mean, I do believe, and I forget. I think we were talking about this at some point in some, I don't know, meeting or whatever it was, about. I think there is a certain areas, just as far as like awkward social awkwardness and intelligence, that I think if you get like you might be too far or like too high, then there is like a bar that people
Yeah, we've
might
talked
tend
about
to
that
be.
before. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I do believe that for sure, but like I think there's like a sweet spot of being intelligent and the ability to still be social and stuff too. But
yeah.
yeah, no, and I I think nerdiness has gotten more popular in recent years as well
The
too. That
startup
they
world certainly made nerdiness more popular,
like
right?
nerdy is cool now.
Yeah,
Um,
the internet did that a little bit.
yeah.
But uh, yeah,
I think I had, so when I worked at this Y after school program with some middle school kids, it was like sixth through eighth grade, and I mainly worked with the seventh and eighth graders. But like as soon as I started, they they took to me because it was like the at-risk kids too, for like for whatever reasons of that they would come there after school. And but I think some of them were drawn to me, I think because they saw like, whoa, you're an adult and a nerd, and so they could just see
right.
like I can function. And because they were playing like Pokemon cards or something, and I knew what that was. And I remember one kid just being like, whoa, you know Pokemon? And I'm like, I've known Pokemon since before you were born, like get out of here.
Yeah,
Which I even, speaking of nerdiness, this is my Eevee, which is a Pokemon.
I don't
Eevee
know Pokemon.
pint glass. I know you don't have to. I'm showing it for everyone else.
All right.
Eevee is one of the Pokemon, and I love all the Eevee evolutions. Actually I have a blanket here too. That's of all of the Eevee evolutions. I can take you around my apartment, and it's a lot of a variety of nerdy things. There's a lot of Pokemon, Super Mario World, and Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice. I wasn't when I was a kid. I wasn't allowed to play Dungeons and Dragons. I think I've told this
Yeah,
story before on the show.
you mentioned
But
it on yeah, you mentioned it on the show, which that's what made me reach out first, or just about D&D, because it made me so sad to hear
yeah,
that you weren't allowed to. I never got to play as a kid either. Not that I couldn't, but it was just I didn't. I had friends who were interested, and I think I have a friend now too, in chat. But we never played, so we didn't really know what to do. Like I think my dad got me like a starter box to play a game, and we never did either because it was just kind of like I don't really know. We just never bothered, and it wasn't until I met my boyfriend, who's also a huge nerd, and he had played, so he ran the game for us, and so we've just been playing a variety of games ever since. With my other D&D game, we just passed our 2 year mark last week. I think on yeah.
you had a
So
conversation. Who was that actor in Milwaukee that you had a
I
conversation with?
know I forget his name. I know he played one of the ghost facers in Supernatural, but I
Yeah, but he
forget
had
what
a
his
Pokemon
name
or not Pokemon. He had a D&D game that was like a
for
decade
10
long.
years. Yeah, he said he
I didn't
played
know
like
that was possible.
monthly for 10 years.
That's incredible.
Uh, Yeah, I don't remember his name though. I'm gonna look up Supernatural Ghost Facers. I thought you
We
said you were gonna be at your computer.
You
You're
want me to
too
look it
busy
up? All
chilling.
right, that's fine. I'll look it up for you.
Uh, no, it's okay. I'm looking it up already. You're too slow. Yeah, but that was cool. And I had no idea. I didn't even know he was an actor, so I feel bad that like I didn't know who he was
He was at
until
the Better
we were.
Discourse conference.
Yeah, and then he was just talking. I don't know, somehow D&D got brought up, so then he and I just talked about D&D the whole time.
Yeah. Uh, let's see. His name is Travis Wester.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out to him for a decade of D&D, which is super cool. Um, I we've had, I think we just had our 82nd session this week.
That's just crazy.
I'm trying to get to 100, end it like on 100 sessions is the goal. So we'll see how it wraps up. So we're
Is
getting close.
D&D, what's the gender breakdown? Is it like 90% guys that are interested in D&D?
Um, my group currently, I'm the one girl, and am I still here?
Huh?
Oh, I am still here. I froze for a second, or everything froze for a second, but I'm back. Okay. I'm the only girl, and then I have six guys playing, and they're all white guys. There was one of the guys' wife Sorry, rather. One of the guys' wife. Is that
So
right?
he's Mormon.
Play. Yeah. She was playing for a while too, but she hasn't been playing recently. But yeah. So that other than that, it's
You're
just
the
been
only, well,
me.
other than my daughter, you're the only female in the unsafe space D&D.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I saw someone online too asking that we should post the unsafe ones on there, but just because Carter's daughter's in it, we're not putting it online. However, that kind of brings up, I'm gonna put you on the spot here
No, I
on
know what you're gonna. It's
on.
not a surprise. Go ahead with your. Go ahead with your pressure.
Yeah, peer pressure that I do at least. I want to do a like a community D&D and then maybe like through Subscribestar or something. So if people who are interested in playing, we might be able to do like a monthly game and just kind of do like a lottery or something, depending on how many people are interested or not. So then we can just do once a month. A couple people can sit in and play with us, and then we can record, probably stream that live somehow through Subscribestar. So like you need to be a Subscribestar subscriber,
Yeah, we can figure out some way to do that.
but something like that. But if you guys are interested in that, then let us know because that would be fun, and we can just do some monthly D&D.
Yeah. Can I answer a chat question? Is
Yeah.
that okay? It's your show, so I don't want to jump in.
No, you're allowed.
Tax Terror is asking my character, and people are thinking
Oh,
I'm a rogue
yes.
assassin. I know that you would
No.
think I would play a rogue assassin, and I kind of like the idea of a rogue assassin. But what I wanted to do was to practice playing something that was unlike me a little bit. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's like me. Maybe you're going to say it's very much like me. But I'm playing a monk who is a fallen Asmar. Asmar, is that how you pronounce it? I don't
Yeah,
even know.
ASMR.
And he's like not very smart, and he's got like this anger thing going on with Beverly's boyfriend's character, and yeah, he's just kind of annoying. I think he's a little bit of an ass, which is
Yeah, a
surprising, right?
little bit. That's why we changed the Discord chat one to ASMR.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, no, it's it, and his name is
Oh yeah, his name is Dark Homer. So yeah.
it's so
It's
funny.
basically almost the opposite of whatever else I would actually want to do in real life. It was just yeah, I just
And so ASMRs are like they're kind of touched by angels essentially, or they have like angel heritage or something. So they're technically and supposed to be born on Earth, and they're just
yeah, but I'm
sort of
playing
human
it
race that
totally
kind of have
different
it.
than this.
But Carter just assumed like he thought at first like no, I'm an actual angel, so I'm from heaven, and so that's how he's playing it.
Yeah,
I'm like okay, sure, like it's fine with me. So like that's canon now, so we're just gonna go with that.
yeah.
And what was it? One of my favorite things so far. How did it go? You were saying that you were feeling homesick, so you're looking up to the stars, and just thinking about home. Like, what do I see? And I said, like, you see like the stars twinkling down on you as if it's a message specifically to you. And then you were like, oh wait, what was his name? I forget
I
his
said,
name.
"Oh, that's
Um,
Rodney. He's a dick."
oh yeah, oh
Yeah,
that's Rodney. He's a dick.
Beverly like
That was
that.
so funny.
I've got like this hate relationship with my former life, which I've decided was in the stars. Yeah,
But you were just so like,
like
I feel so
resentful.
homesick. I want something here. Like, oh, that's Rodney. Oh, gross. He
Yeah,
sucks.
I was kind of an
Um,
ass in heaven or whatever as well. That's the
yeah,
backstory.
so that's
Yeah,
probably I like to picture that you were just so mean that you got kicked out
yeah.
and no
I
one
think
wanted
just
to
no
be.
one wanted to be around me in any way.
But it's so funny how mean you are to my boyfriend too, because my
I'm
boyfriend
super
plays
mean to him. Yeah,
because he plays a pathetic character though, like so he's willingly playing just like a loser character, and so he plays into that, and then Carter plays into being mean to him and just constantly tries to leave him behind. Where
yeah. I'm a complete bully to him.
yeah,
Yeah. I try. Yeah, I'm a complete jerk. I ignore anything good that he does. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so funny. Um, so yeah, that's his character. There are a couple sessions in. It's supposed to be like a few sessions long, so they have a couple more to go. Um, but for now, but you might be able to keep using those characters if you want to reuse them for the community D&D later.
Good. I didn't know what to choose, so I just I figured I'd try something crazy.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful and I love it. And that's what was it. My boyfriend was saying too how after like the first game, I think like I thought maybe Carter might be nice to me at some point, but
No.
that never happened.
No. I feel so bad about it that actually when he's out of character, I'm like trying to be make sure that I'm nice to him so that he
Oh
knows
yeah,
that it's not like a personal thing. It's just the character because his character's pretty pathetic. Yeah.
right.
Uh,
Yeah. No, he knows he can handle it.
yeah, I know. It's good for the improv thing though, and it's good for imagination, and it's fun, and you've got a little universe that you're exploring, and yeah, I think it's great. How many? I guess my question is, I feel like it's this. I feel like the D&D community is similar to the gaming community in that it's mostly guys who probably aren't woke, but some tiny fraction of the community decided that their woke agenda needed to be pushed on everyone, and that's what they're doing. It's kind of
Yeah,
like Gamergate, I guess.
I don't even think it's all people like part of a small community within the D&D ones. I think people who don't play are probably also just put like they see that this is a thing or hear about it and then they get upset and are like making a big deal out of it
Oh,
because and it's possible like maybe there are some that are in it but I don't know like I or they are play like it's newer people who are just one trying to get into it because like it's the new cool nerdy thing and then they're like oh this is offensive so now I want to cancel it um because it's yeah like it hasn't been an issue in however long how long has this game been around 70s right
it
um
definitely was around in the 70s. Yeah, I don't know
yeah
when it started, but it was definitely around in the 70s.
yeah so I but it's just yeah like you had people who didn't care about those things and now you are and no offense, I'm guessing that probably people who are complaining more about it are probably like the females who are playing. Like,
Oh yeah,
I,
of course.
uh,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
just
Yeah,
assume.
obviously, it's white women who don't play D&D who are complaining. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Who are
not to be
probably trying to
racist,
play.
but that's who it is.
Right. But it's most likely that, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, like D&D is a majority white game, just as it is, um, at least in my experience. And that's in yeah, what is it? I'm in. Oh, so I'm in 5 RPGs a week, or about
that's a
that.
little bit
Yeah,
excessive, I think.
it is. It's exhausting. I'm so exhausted. Two of them. Is it two of them? Yeah, two of them. Three of them are D&D. Two of those I run, and then two other ones are different RPGs. And yeah, and of all the D&D, that's interesting though too. Like of the D&D games, I'm aside from your daughter, like I'm the only girl in all in those 3 games. But in the other 2 RPGs, it's actually a better mix of genders. So
Huh?
I'm not
You're
sure.
assuming. Yeah.
I'm assuming. Yeah, I don't. Well, in the games, in the one game, there are a couple of them are androids, so they do have like a they them situation that they go by.
Yeah. Plus, your friend base is a little bit woke.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's just why I think it's fun. Like in my main D&D group, despite political differences we might have, and I don't really talk to them about that. Like I love playing with them because like I appreciate their dedication and they're a lot of fun to play with overall. Like, to it's kind of we kind of had a variety of people coming through for the first several weeks or so, but later on we have like a solid group, and so it's like the same 6 people coming weekly, and they're dedicated, and I love like it's so great, and I really appreciate that. But I think it's funny that like at least one of them I know for sure is more anti-capitalist and more socialist, and I think the others are definitely were Bernie fans. So, but I don't know to what extent those
Well,
are.
Bernie's not a
But
socialist anymore. I don't know if you heard the news, but
right, I
yeah.
did. Yeah, I saw that. Even though we saw Chris had sent a thing too about saying when Bernie mentioned he is socialist, even prior to that.
Right.
Um, But I think it's funny in our game, they keep coming up, they keep doing a lot of business ventures. Like they created a railroad system. They work for they advertise for a jewel company, so they just keep so they're getting paid for all these things that they've started. They keep trying to find different ways to make money on the side. and
So they don't
and
like
I
actual productivity, but imaginary productivity is cool with them.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, like they're all about that, which I think is funny that like showing, hey, like businesses, this is how business works. And well, it's a lot looser, obviously. I'm not forcing them
Sure.
to like figure out how a train would function and get your
Right.
math
Right.
right. I'm just like very loose. Like, yeah, you got an investor here. He's going to pay for it. He'll handle it all, but technically you own it. And so
Maybe you should start
you're
making it harder so they don't feel like it's so easy to make
I
money.
know. So I know. I considered
Because
that too. And I'm like,
starting a business is actually one of the hardest things you can do.
difficult, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're also trying to save the world, so I'm just like I don't really want to make that
Yeah.
the
Fair enough.
main issue.
Yeah.
So they've got other things going on.
Thank you, Hermit. By the way, sorry, I'm not responding to most chats, but he just gave us $50. So
I see that. Yeah, thank you.
yeah.
I know who that is.
Oh, you do? Is he one of your
Yeah.
socialist friends?
No, he's not.
Okay,
I won't reveal him though if he
that's
wants
fine.
to
I know
stay.
who it is. I bet. Uh, now I know who
Yeah,
it is. Actually, now that you said that.
yeah.
Um,
Her, hermit.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Carrie didn't show up for our D&D, so it's you and my daughter and two other and me and two other unsafe space people. Um,
And my boyfriend, yeah. I
and your
I brought
boyfriend.
him
Yeah.
in because he knows I don't know the mechanics. D&D, there's just so much stuff. Like there's too much stuff, and so there's a lot of mechanics I don't know. I like storytelling a lot more. So and then just the improv part. So then I brought my boyfriend in to help out for questions that I don't know. So that's why he was playing.
It's actually super helpful that almost everyone in there knows what they're doing because I had a lot of questions. So,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
Um,
I feel like D&D would be good for it's like hours of cheap fun when you're a kid. So I'm like why is it not popular with people who don't have a lot of is it popular like do you know the demographic popularity of D&D because it's like you can spend $10 on some books and dice and have days and days of interactivity, right?
uh, you're asking what you think for children?
Just general, yeah, yeah, for children. There are not a lot of adults play D&D. Let's be honest.
I don't know. I think
Really,
a
you think
lot of
more adults?
adults
Oh,
play
okay.
D&D. I mean, probably kids, but like, yeah, I think they're all the people that respond. So half of my group, once I started losing some after like the first couple of months, I went on Reddit and I asked because they have looking for players, looking for a game and stuff too. So there's Reddit. So I posted on there, and then I got a few different people came. And they were all adults. So like I don't have any children respond. So
Because
I
children aren't
think
allowed
there's
on Reddit. I hope.
they're allowed on.
I mean, by their parents. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
a curmudgeon though, because you're like, yeah, I'm more. I shelter my child more than other people,
Which
I guess.
right. Yeah, I mean like then which is fair. It's understandable. And I know my dad is watching here too, but I wasn't sheltered as far as what I was allowed to do, but I didn't really do anything bad that I recall, but I was like online. I did text RPGs when I was like 13. So it was
I
just
should ask
on
him how he got away with that because uh, I'm just like pretty. Yeah, I'm pretty.
concerned that
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have a phone. She's not allowed to use any computing devices in her room.
wow.
Everything she does is like at her desk out in the open. It's basically just for school. She's got a couple games she can play, but like I don't I don't
Yeah,
there's no
see,
reason to give her open access to the cesspool of the internet. I don't understand what's the purpose behind that.
and I guess there was less of a cesspool
That's true. When
when
were
I
you a
was
kid? When were you 13? What year?
that would have been 2004, like halfway through, right?
Eh,
Yeah.
it wasn't
Um,
as bad as it is now, that's for sure.
is that how math works? Yeah, that's right.
I don't know.
Um, I think that's right. Yeah. So it wasn't. Yeah.
Okay.
Because yeah, I think there was less to do. My friend and I, we would go into um like different chat rooms because there was like the AIM and stuff. So she and I would chat and you just talk to different people. But
Did you
like
just
I
call it
think we,
AIM?
yeah, oh, AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah, AIM.
Is that how you pronounced it? Was AIM?
That's how adults pronounced it. I never
I
heard
don't know if I ever
AIM
pronounced it
before.
that
Huh.
because then it was you spell out AOL. I don't say AOL, so I think that's why I probably
You do
said
spell out
AIM.
AOL, that's true. But AIM was just
Uh,
AIM.
was it? I don't remember. I remember
Yeah.
what's the QC or
ICQ.
QRC or some ICQ. That's it. Yeah, I
ICQ was
think
the
we
other
had
one.
that
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Um, but I yeah, I think we were on there and chatting. I think we kind of were trolls, my friend and I, or like we would pretend to be other people and just like make stuff up, but nothing like too bad. But we would just pretend to be other
Someone else in
things.
chat says it was AIM for them. Well, look, for old people like me, it was AIM.
Okay,
Uh,
see, thank you.
Look, all the old guys, it was AIM. Everyone, I was in Silicon Valley at the time. Everyone I knew called it AIM. But maybe the kids called it AIM. Could be. I wouldn't know.
13. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm confirming how Kay's Kits is saying 17 was the youngest that she had a player in her game too. And I'll say too, shout out to Kay's Kits because she's my oldest friend that I have. Like she and I have been friends since we were like in third grade.
Nice. Is she a commie?
No, she's not. That's why I told her about this show, about this
Good, good.
channel, because
So she hasn't disowned you.
she's one of the few people who is not a commie. Um,
What
yeah.
does she think about your other friends?
I haven't talked to her too much about other friends. Yeah, I think we talk. I don't bother her with with those things. So the kind of separate worlds, I guess, in that sense. Um, and she has a son
Carrie's here.
now.
Hey, Carrie.
Oh, is she?
She says it was AIM for her. I'm seeing
See,
both young and old people different. Like some people saying
I
AIM and
think
some
it's
people saying AIM. So clearly
oh
there was a large rift at the time that no one knew.
yeah.
Uh,
Ooh, it's the Berenstain Bears thing. I'm gonna say
uh,
it's another Mandela
Berenstein. I
effect.
read those books when I was a kid.
No,
Uh,
people said Berenstein or Berenstain
Berenstain?
because yeah, because it's which I always mix up which one it is, but it's
Is it?
AIN, right?
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that's why it's the Berenstain Bears effect. Was it Berenstain? Let me double check.
Oh, I don't know.
Um, yeah, it's Berenstain Bears AIN, but then everyone always thinks it's EIN, but then some people say like, no, I adamantly remember it's AIN. I don't think I was ever really into them, so I didn't have a strong memory of either.
I
I
was
think it
definitely into
vaguely
them.
was.
Yeah, I was
Um,
definitely into them.
but yes, that's the thing. It's like a Mandela effect of, but I didn't realize that Mandela was because of Nelson Mandela until recently. I didn't know what it was
Oh,
named
really?
after because I didn't know about that like that specific effect. I just knew like the concept, and I just knew it as the Berenstain Bears.
But if it's Stain, that's not pronounced stain.
It might be Stein. You think?
I would say Stein.
Yeah, but you say aim, so I don't really trust your judgment at this point.
Yeah, fair. Well, but I'm not alone. There's other people in chat who say it was AIM. So
Yeah, that's like I
uh,
said. I think it's the effect. I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, at least it's less the pronunciation and more the spelling though. Like people thought it was spelled EIN and then AI and not rather than
okay.
AIN. So visually, I think it was. Um, yeah. So
Hmm.
back to D&D, a another thing that I wanted to talk about too, and that is just a lot of my friends know this about me, but it's not something that I don't think I've mentioned to you yet too. I have what's called a dice addiction. So
I've never heard of this.
I have an addiction to dice, to having a lot of sets of dice. I think I have a picture that I want to send. Can you, because I don't know how to screen share. Can you just share this for me?
I don't know if I can. What is it? Where are you gonna send it?
Uh, Where do you want it sent? Like
Discord.
Discord? Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know if I can screen share right now because I
No?
didn't
Okay, well, we could
prep for
try.
this. Hold on.
Well, yeah, and I thought, because I was like, I should tell you ahead of time because I want you to know, but then I was like, I don't want to spoil it. This picture is going to show what this topic is going to be about
All
tonight.
right, all right. We'll see if I can.
Um,
We'll see if we can do it
okay,
here.
it's
All right.
sent. But I have a lot of dice. That's what the picture is just of the dice that I own. Um, okay, I'm waiting. You said hold on a sec. Um, I own, I think my latest count was 90 sets of dice. And Carter. Yes, that's what I've been told, that it's a big problem because I keep buying sets of dice. And I want to get the problem that I see is that I'm not yet at 100. So I need 10 more sets and I haven't purchased anything in a long time. Um, but
Sure,
I,
thing's not working. I moved some cables around and crap for the camera. Like it's not. Yeah, don't worry about it.
okay.
No one gets
Do
to see
I?
your dice. You could try it if you want.
Okay, I can try it.
But
I don't know how to do that though. But yeah, so I have some here too because I can show people. Um, let's see. I click share screen
try
and
it.
then I go to this and I say start sharing. And uh, is it? Okay. My YouTube is delayed. Yeah. 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 So you get the gist that it's a lot. Yeah, they call it yeah, two sisters and some yarn. Dice to me is yarn to you guys. Yeah, for the knitters. Um but yeah, so I have a lot of dice and how do I stop sharing? Am I still sharing?
That's
Stop
okay.
sharing.
You're not. It doesn't matter whether
Okay.
you're sharing or not.
Okay.
It's not.
Cool.
I'm screwing
Just
around with the scenes in this, so we're good.
uh
We're
so they
back.
call it a dice goblin, or people who have too many dice. They have a dice
Have you
addiction.
gone
But
to
I
therapy
prefer
for this?
no, because I still don't see it as a problem. But I do
Do you have a
prefer
gambling
calling it
problem?
no. I don't like to take. I'm not a risk. I don't like taking risks.
Okay. Well, dice without gambling is fine.
Yeah, so it's all the polyhedral stuff too. So, but not dice goblin. I prefer dice dragon. Is what I like.
A
So
dice dragon.
here,
All right.
yeah, because dragons they hoard things. So, I think that's better than I like the idea of being a dragon more. So I'm gonna hoard all the dice. Um, this is if you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my first set of dice ever, and that's from Kay's Kits. She's the one who gave me the set of dice because she was there in that first game that we played together. This one is my rainbow set.
I
So
did not realize this was going to get this nerdy or
I
geeky.
don't know
Geeky
why
is the right word, I think.
I prefer nerdy.
Yeah, but nerdy
Uh,
actually is like if we were discussing physics, that would be nerdy. We're discussing Dungeons and Dragons dice,
I think we
so
got
I
a
think that's
some.
geeky by definition.
I'm gonna.
My
I'm
daughter's
gonna.
over here nodding her head. She's got a very good vocabulary. She's like, yeah, yeah, that's the
I've
there's a
looked
difference
into it
between those.
too. I think I'm gonna. I'll have to look into that later on because I remember being looking. I think I'm okay with geeky, but I think nerdy could fall into that too. But I don't remember enough to argue against it, so I'll accept it for now. Um, I love metal dice more. So like because they're cool and heavy. These are like slightly smaller, but here are like
Okay.
super baby dice. They're like so
Oh
tiny.
yeah. All right.
Um, these ones are cool because they're jacks.
Oh yeah.
Blurry. But yeah, so you can like play jacks
All
with
right.
them. These ones I got at Gen Con last year that are probably like the coolest shaped ones. They're unicorn horns. So you stick them on. There's magnets in them, So you stick them in, and then you just roll them on the table, and yeah, they're pretty awesome. So now it makes you want to buy some more dice, right?
Not really.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
What's
no,
wrong
I'm
with you?
I'm good. I'm
I
good.
think I think you're the one who needs therapy. If after seeing these, you're not like, man, I need to buy all the dice that I see ever. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what's wrong with you. When my boyfriend and I travel, we've traveled like across country, and we stop at board game stores whenever we can. So we always buy dice if they have some there too. So I've gotten ones from like Montana, Alaska, and just any place too. I never remember which ones are. I have trouble remembering what dice I already own. So I also had to take like pictures of the dice sets that I have and have like a photo album to check to make sure that, and because I have doubles.
Hey, I don't know what to say about the dice addiction. I feel like it's you're gonna grow up to be one of those ladies with a precious moments collection in her house, like in her entire living room, and that's a little bit creepy.
No, I don't. I sometimes I like to. I want to limit the amount of junk that I have because I am a natural
Except for dice.
hoarder. Yeah, except for there are certain things that I will keep collecting, but then I don't. I want less stuff of everything else. Like dice will always have. I still like to buy CDs. I just recently got rid of like the cases that they were in because I wanted to make more space. So then I just put them in binders. But I still like to buy all the CDs. Um, I think that's mainly it. I don't know. What are your vices?
What are my vices?
Yeah, dice is my vice. I've got a dice vice.
Well, what in terms of what I spend money on that I shouldn't spend money on?
I don't know, if anything.
Uh,
You're making me feel bad about my dice addiction. Now you can make you feel bad about something.
Hold on, let me ask the expert. What are my vices? Yerba mate, she says.
What
I'm
is it?
addicted to yerba mate.
What's that?
It's like a tea thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Um, so that, yeah, for a while it was startups. I was addicted to startups, but that's kind of a weird vice.
Do you just keep starting startups? Is that what
I
you
know I
did?
just kept like investing in startups and advising startups to the point that it was beyond healthy, and did bite me in the ass. Um, it was not good. Yeah, no, I don't have. There was a while that I like was spending way too much money on firearms, but that's been a while. Like I stopped doing that. Um, in fact, I probably should go back to spending more because I need to update some
Yeah. Oh,
stuff.
I would like more of that too. My dad
Yeah,
just has purchased a couple new guns recently. Oh, I told you about about the one recently too. But yeah, I think he just got like another shotgun or something.
yeah, yeah. No,
Um,
I don't. I mean, I definitely have things I don't like about myself, but I don't know that I would say I have a lot of vices in that sense of like something that I'm like compelled to
oh,
do.
perfect
Like
Carter
sugar,
over
like
here.
when I'm not on a carnivore diet, like I could totally do sugar, which I
Oh
guess is a
yeah.
vice. But yeah, I don't know.
That's right. Just your bragging too with last night when we were having so much technical difficulties trying to prepare for the streaming and then using Streamlabs and then you're downloading Streamlabs labs on your end like, oh, mine's working. Oh, look how nice this is. Perfect Carter at it again.
No, no, I'm not claiming to be perfect, but I have my
But you
problems,
just
but that's
are.
not
You
it.
don't.
Yeah, those aren't my problems. You know what? I could hoard. You know what? If I had to say, I probably have the hoarding streak. Not probably, absolutely, I've got a hoarding streak.
Yeah. It's hard.
I try
Do
and not
you
do it, but
What's her name? The Marie Kondo. I really like her decluttering.
oh yeah, I've never seen her. My wife
Oh
and my
yeah. Well,
daughter like her, but probably because they have to
really.
live with me. But yeah, I'm the kind of guy that's like, I threw out an old color television a while ago, and I was like, I should save the flyback transformer in case I need it for something. Like
Yeah.
that's so like in my downstairs, like in the basement, I've got stuff I'm never ever gonna use, but it's just in case. So I guess that's a good vice. Definitely got the
Yeah,
hoarding thing going on.
I had to stop. I try to stop doing that too because I get worried about that. Like, what if I need this someday? And sometimes that whatever it is, like sometimes I will like I'll have it for like 3 years and then finally get rid of it, and then like a week later, oh, I did need it.
That's my
Uh,
fear, and I never have enough wires or cables for something. So I have like a wall full of cables, but whenever I need like the particular adapter from this to that or a cable that does blah blah blah, I never have it. So I kind of feel
yeah.
like that's not a bad thing that I have all those cables because I'm always needing them.
No, that's fair. I think that's fine. Um, yeah, I think I I'm bad at decluttering, but I do want to do it more. Oh, books. That's another thing too. I have too many books and not enough. We just have them like stored in cabinets and things because we have like a lot of kitchen cabinets, so a lot of them are like up in the highest parts and just put away and in the pantry because we didn't need all of it's a big pantry, so it's just like shelves of books
We
that
do have a
I
lot of books, but I don't consider that a vice either. Probably because my wife doesn't consider it a vice. We could have an entire house full of books. We have, and
yeah.
actually, my daughter's sitting over here playing video games. You have a lot of books. You don't care. Yeah. We're a family that likes books. That's not a vice. And actually, Let
I
Freedom Ring America just said bacon, whiskey, and cigars. Bacon's not a vice, dude. Uh, so
yeah. Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
agree.
Bacon
And,
is a
and,
necessary part of life.
and I don't, they're not necessarily vices, just hoarding, though. That, like, it's a thing that I hoard. So it's not necessarily bad, but I need more space. I want just like a library room someday. And all
Yeah, I totally want
hardcover
a library.
books. I don't, we take off the dust jackets on our books though too, because like the prints are never as like just the physical covers are a lot cooler to look at. We like the classic look more than stuff. I don't care if they get dusty, I guess.
Yeah, well, uh, they are supposed to protect the books, but whatever.
I
Do
know,
your
but
thing.
but why can't they make the design like the way that the book itself looks? I don't want you to see pictures of random people or authors. Like we like to look at like when you see like in an old library and you just have like the big hardcovers and the cool
Yeah, no, that does look
binding.
good. I'll go to like a, I'll go to
Bacon
a,
does matter.
bacon is Zach Stara said bacon is a moral good. Yeah, you know what? I am
I
into
know.
individualism, and I don't like making universal pronouncements on what is good for people. But bacon, I don't know. I could maybe get there with bacon.
But Chris doesn't like it. I knew that was something
Man, this
I
Carrie
knew
doesn't like
that
it either,
'cause
so it's fine.
oh, okay. No,
Yeah, we have a
we've
rift in the company. It's fine.
yeah. Sorry, what were you saying though? I interrupted with
No,
bacon.
no, I would just, we go to about books. Like we'll go to. We recently went to a estate sale, and it was like $5 per bag of book, and we just like because I had all these. It was just we felt like it was Christmas. We walked out with all these
Yeah.
bags of books. So we're like those weird people.
No, a same. I mean, even at Gen Con, I think it was Gen Con. Or no, maybe it was C2E2. That I'm just geeky, that nerdy things.
I don't even know what
But
C
they
two E
had
two
like
is, but okay.
you don't. It's
No.
oh shoot, I'm blanking on the comics and entertainment expo. It stands for something, but I'm blanking out on the names now. Uh, but it's just another. It's a comic book convention slash other things. Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo. There we go. Chicago was the word that I forgot. I only live in the city. It's
Right.
fine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah. So it's just like another nerd convention. But I think they had like tables of books there that they were just giving out by the end of it. So they were handing them out to people. So I took several. Like, yeah, I know, free books. I'll take them.
Yeah. Right.
But I also want to stop buying books or getting them before I read because I never have enough time to read. So then I just start doing audiobooks instead because I can do something and listen at the
I
same
really
time.
prefer
And
reading though. I can't pay
yeah,
attention to the audiobooks.
I agree. It's tough. But it's just, I'll never get it done if I have to like sit and read because I've got too many D&D games to do.
Yeah, I have an advantage there, I guess. I don't know. Someone in chat was saying that my husband's grandmother passed down an old dictionary and he threw it out. That does give me tears. I have a here. Wait, I'll
Yeah.
show you this. This is a 2-volume dictionary. This is one of the volumes. This is like a super old. I love these super old dictionaries, and there's a reason for these dictionaries. There's a reason why these are super important to have, especially as social justice warriors take over the world. They redefine terms, and you
Yeah.
can actually see that. Like if you look, I've got that dictionary. I've got dictionaries from the 80s, 90s, and then today. And you can watch, like certain terms, you can watch the evolution of the term over time, and you can see how the left just like slowly started to shift it until, yeah, it is what it is
100.
today. It's
Yeah.
pretty annoying. Inflation's one of my favorite ones for that. Like the word in, like, I know that this is a little bit nerdy from a financial perspective, but inflation is the just expansion of the money supply. Like that's all it is. But they've redefined it because they don't want to say that you get inflation through expansion of the money supply because of central banking and what they're doing with money. Like it's changed over time. So now they call it like inflation now means price inflate. If the prices go up, like it's a price inflation thing. It's totally changed meanings. But technically, it's just expansion of the money supply is inflation. But it's fascinating for me to see how politicized, or I will even say ideological influence maybe on words, and why words move a certain direction, and then it changes the entire discussion, and yeah, it it has a pretty big impact.
Yeah, like I don't trust Merriam-Webster anymore after changing
Right,
racist and
right. But
whatever
maybe
too.
you
So
should
it's
never have trusted them. I don't know.
maybe, yeah. Well, what do you think about words just changing over time just because of how people they start to use it incorrectly and whether or not politically
Right. So
intended,
I think
but
there's an
just
argument to me like dictionary is the dictionary making the change, or did culture make the change and the dictionary is reflecting it? Right.
right.
I think that's probably some of both in many cases, but so you can say you can absolve the dictionary of guilt in that sense, but it's still interesting to see because someone is misusing the word, usually intentionally, and it's often the academics. So, like, it might not be the dictionary and lay people that are misusing the words intentionally. It's like they're taught the words like just like racism is a great example, right? They're saying like, okay, it's no racism is now prejudice plus power. They're saying it explicitly, and lay people might just start using it in that way eventually, and then 100 years from now we'll look back at the dictionary and say, well, when did that happen? Did the dictionary just change it? And the answer is like, not really. Culture changed it, but it was driven by an ideology, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, and I just think of words like dumb and lame where those I
right.
think they had certain meanings and people probably just use them more as insults and then it just kind of kept going from there too. So but I think it's yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that because where I get bothered by where like because my boyfriend I think he's the one that says like well English is constantly changing. There's a lot of things like words and stuff that definitions will change, but then I'm also like yeah, but now with the advent of the internet, we know what words are supposed to mean. Like there's less of an excuse for people to misunderstand
Right. You
definitions and
could
stuff.
theoretically have a locked down dictionary that was like, this is what it means. This is what it will always mean. Use the word appropriately.
Right. And then it could be like a
Hmm.
worldwide known
Right. Because
thing.
everyone has access to it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
where I am on it.
Yeah. But,
Um,
but, but I think the people who want to push ideologies that deny reality, in order to not get caught, need to change terms all the time, because every time a term like is adopted. So every time a term is clear, every time a bunch of terms are clear, as long as there's enough terms that are clear that can accurately describe the ideology in a way that people don't like it, then the ideology has no place to run. So they need to like constantly be changing definitions of the words so that it's very difficult to clearly define the ideology to everyone. in a way that lay people will understand. That's how
Right.
they have to stay ahead of definitions. Or the definitions have to stay, they have to stay ahead of the definitions, let's put it that way. Yeah. And constantly pushing definitions. So
Yeah, I agree. I think, yeah. I do want to do. Can you get super chats on there? I think I could see all the way back though, just to
I
name
put
them
all the
since there
super
are a
chats
few.
up already. We just
You
didn't
did?
mention them.
Okay. I wasn't
Yeah.
looking at the video.
Yeah.
Okay,
I've
you
just
did
been
have them.
putting them up as we go.
I'm just looking at yours on Skype, so that's why I wasn't looking in chat. Yeah.
Oh,
Cool. Okay. As long as they've been seen then. But thank you
yeah.
guys for
They've
the
been
super
seen.
chats. Appreciate that. And
Yeah.
Taxtera, I once I can get the streaming right, because Carter is streaming for me tonight too, because things were terrible yesterday when we were testing. But
Yeah.
I
It
think I
was
might
such a
have.
cluster. Yes.
I think we might be able to now, but I was scared to do it today. So maybe once I get that done, I think that would be a lot of fun. You should come on, and then we can just talk about yarn. You can teach me everything about yarn. Because I and knitting, because I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Um,
This could be a yarn show. The knitters
yeah, I
want
think
their knitting podcast. So
they do. You can come on here. We can talk knitting. I don't know anything. I know how to crochet a string, just like one piece of like with your fingers, and I can just do like one one line of crocheted
like
string.
finger
But then you
knitting.
can, yeah, then you would just pull it apart because it's the way it's done. You could just pull it, and it goes back to not being crocheted anymore, and that's the extent. Although like my mom is super into it because so she's crocheted a lot of stuff, and she would send me. I had like a big bag of yarn that she would send that I never used really, and just throughout and just a lot of different things that she's crocheted. She crocheted face masks too, but I barely wear masks,
Do
so
they qualify?
I think like they had like filters. She like had filters underneath too, and um, but they're yeah. So I don't wear them because well, it was also summer, so it was going to be hot. So and I just wear the handkerchiefs instead when I do wear them. But yeah, so I don't know anything about knitting or any of that, so that'd be cool.
Well, it's your thing. You D&D'd today. So,
I did, yeah, yeah.
uh,
So we're just looking through chat now if there's anything, if anyone wants to talk about stuff too. Otherwise, that's kind of the stuff that I had. I don't know how long the show should be. Like an hour ish seems
I
solid.
don't know.
Oh, thank you for the new super. Oh, thanks,
I
Tax
don't know
Tara.
what look did I have on my face. I don't know
I
what
don't know.
it was betraying something probably, but I don't know what it was. Maybe then it was maybe a knitting look. I do roll my
Yeah,
eyes at
maybe.
knitting probably. Cuz there's I mean I love the knitters but they're always like it's a knitting show. So,
Yeah. And you don't do nearly enough knitting on it.
no, we do not.
Maybe you should try it. Maybe you can knit while you talk about stuff on Kafefi.
Yeah, I can't multitask. So, I can't even like run Kofefi and talk at the same time very well.
Yeah, but you do a lot more stuff just producing wise of having to get things going. So that's yeah, we've talked about that where that's you are multitasking already. So it's understandable that you struggle
Yeah.
when you if you could just sit in front and then just talk, I think you'd be okay.
Yeah, my goal is to someday uh because we like to pick on you, Carter. Yeah, I know, it's good. My goal is to someday be able to sit back and have a conversation and not worry about when the stream starts, when it ends, what super chats are going on, what camera angle is where. Like, just I think that's what happens when you have a producer.
Right.
But
Or you can just do it on stage somewhere and then you just have a real live audience.
yeah, but you know, whenever I get disappointed at like, oh, we only have X number of viewers. First of all, we've grown enormously this year, so that's kind of a crappy attitude to have. Like we've grown enormously, so I'm very grateful for our growth. But the other thing I think is like, all right, we have 27,000 people subscribed to our channel. What venue could I speak at and have 27,000 or 26,000 people show up? Like I don't. In terms of making an impact, I'm feeling pretty good. Like this is better than teaching college. I can go
Yeah.
be a professor somewhere and like what I'm going to talk to a room of 30 people who are mostly sleeping, maybe a couple times a semester. So
No,
this
I'd
is
say
great.
from a performance standpoint that like when you're I think internet is the way to go rather than stage because like when you're like you're really having to hustle like hey come to my improv show and like we've talked about before too like no one really wants to and I'm well aware about the drawbacks of or the interest in improv like it's the everyone who comes to your improv show are other improvisers who
Right, no one
are
wants to go to.
coming
It's
to
like going to when
um
someone's like, "Oh, well, let's go see live comedy." It's like, can you just shoot me? Unless it's a comedian that I know is like is famous, because like
I'm
regular
I
comedy
would
sucks.
it depends. I mean, like I
I'm
like sketch
sorry.
comedy, like seeing stuff like there are good shows, and I'd say for improv, like I said before too, that you have to have good. You want like the good ones. Like there's ones here in Chicago called Improvised Shakespeare, so they do 2 hours
Maybe in
of
Chicago, there's
Shakespearean
like
stuff.
some more professional good stuff going
Right.
on because they moved to Chicago
Oh,
intentionally. But um,
right. But
yeah,
it's no like it's you got to find the diamond in the rough kind of thing. But like
yeah, it's like,
it's
oh
a tough
God, stand
thing.
up. They better
I
serve
saw.
alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone
Um,
asked, I lost where it was. Would you, oh, Mandy Fisher says, would you rather deal with SJWs or would you rather deal with knitters?
oh, hey, I love you guys, knitters. I love the knitters. It's all good. It's all good. I know you're teasing me. I'm teasing you back. Mandy also said she remembers when there was 50 people watching. I do as well. I remember when I
Hmm.
started and there was 6 subscribers, and 3 of them were accounts that I had created to subscribe. So it didn't look bad. It was really bad. And I remember like doing a live stream and like maybe one person will be in chat and live stream, and it was like never like maybe one person would be like hi, and that would be the end of the live stream chat or whatever. So I'm
Um,
glad that people can have conversations with each other in chat now. It's great.
Kent Onufrichik, I
Ken
forget how his
Anufacheck,
last name
yeah.
is spelled. Right? Onufrichik. He was like one of the OGs, right?
He was early. Stephen Blackheath, I don't think he's in chat now, is early. I can go back and look and see who the early people were. I might
But
remember.
I think your stuff too, because you mentioned before that like you went back and looked at like the first episode. The episodes are out of order. Like they, because I
Oh,
even
are they?
saw like it had like episode 2 was like one of the first ones or something. Yeah, like early on they're not
So the
listed
first
and
like 10 or so are over the course of 2 or 3 years,
I
because
know.
I was like, I'm
I
gonna do
saw the
this
dates.
thing, and then like I did it, and then 6 months would go by, and I could do another one, and yeah, it was just a mess. And
Because it
then
like even with the because it was not on this channel or something too, or was it on like a regular podcast? Because some of them didn't have video, and then the dates are like something that you talk about. I was like, this was posted in like 2017, 18, but you're talking about like a year before this or something too.
yeah, it
And
was originally just a podcast. It wasn't on YouTube. Yeah.
yeah, that's what
But
I
it was
thought.
like not a thing. It was like yeah, we did a couple shows. I think Katrina was in one of the first shows. First
Yeah,
episode.
no, she was there early on. That's why like I
Yeah.
immediately I'm a big fangirl of Katrina.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and that's why I was wondering like if that was going to be her. Like I didn't know anything because I started from the beginning, so I'm like I don't know who's talking, like who the other people are,
Oh,
except
right.
without knowing who Carrie was though too. And I was just like, oh, and I was worried. But I was just like, will I like this other girl because I really like Katrina, but if I see someone else though, like what if I don't? But I love Carrie, so Carrie's
Yeah. Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
But I was
Carrie's
just kind
great.
of like what about Katrina?
Yeah. Katrina. Katrina is. Katrina's like just a female version of me in some sense.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot of. There's not a lot of difference there. But yeah,
I could
that's
see
why I love
that
Katrina. Katrina's awesome. So
because you just love yourself. That's fair.
I'm just an egotist.
Um,
Yeah.
let freedom ring. America asks Carter, what kind of humor do you like?
Oh, I I tend to like dry British humor, but I also like dark humor. My favorite meme is that meme that's got a picture of Stalin's face and it says dark humor is like food. Not everyone gets it. So I like that kind of humor, but I like more I like more dry humor. I don't like a lot of like I hate Jim Carrey, for example. I can't stand Jim Carrey.
Uh,
I don't think
why?
he's funny,
What?
and I don't even like Robin Williams mostly.
Hey, no, didn't we talked about this the other day, right? It's the thing about people who and those two in particular, Jim Carrey and Robin Williams, they're both big personalities that
Yeah,
can't really turn it off. But obviously they have depression though too though. So it's a thing. I think that like all comedians are depressed.
that's what I hear.
But I think it's a difference where like they don't work as well in improv because you're always like trying to take attention and then you're just too loud and too big. But like in improv you're giving at some points too. And I think comedians who have or just anyone really who has the ability to be change personalities depending on the situation. And you can be quiet, you can not be the loudest person in the room. I think they're more likable. But when you have someone who's just always on, then that's just annoying to me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, of the big names, I do like Ricky Gervais, although he's also kind of almost always on, but not quite as much. He's a little bit. I love the movie Clue. C. Jones. Yeah, Clue is like
Yeah,
Clue's one of my favorite
because
movies.
you
I
made that
also
you
like all
referenced
the
that the other day too. Yeah.
Waiting for Guffman is also one of my favorite movies. Um,
I'm still bad at movies, and I know the gist of that, but I haven't seen it yet because
and
I do
Holy
TV.
Grail, which I know everyone loves. Holy Grail is one of
That's
my
one of my
favorites as
favorite
well.
ones. But
Uh,
you like a lot of other stupid stuff too. You because you like
Sometimes
What We Do in the Shadows. You like that TV
I do,
show.
even though it's stupid. I sometimes
But
like stupid stuff like that, right? So I
that's
mean,
why
you know,
I love Will Ferrell and John C. Riley movies. Like they're all stupid. Like I love Talladega Nights, and
mm,
yeah, it's stupid as it is though. Like, but yeah, it hits like certain like yeah, I'm okay with this stupid comedy because it's intentionally stupid.
yeah, yeah. I'm like okay with that, but I'm not. Like I would rather watch Will Ferrell easily than Jim Carrey or someone like that.
Yes. Yeah,
But
I agree. Yeah, I don't know who. Yeah, I don't know why, because I think Will Ferrell is kind of on too, but like there's something I think he has such a cat like he's just funny naturally. Like he'll say things that because he was on an episode of Bear Grylls, I think, or something like that. Like so he joined him, and so like Bear Grylls, the Survivor guy.
oh,
Oh
that
yeah, like
dude.
so he's yeah, like the one where
Okay.
he has like a lot of cameramen and stuff around him too. So he's not as like I don't know. It's more exciting, but I'm just like what if all the camera people can do it? Like how bad is it? How hard is it really? But Will Ferrell was on an episode one time, I think, and he was just like making a lot of comments on stuff that like, but he was hilarious, like, because he was just being like making sarcastic things about it, and I don't know, like, so I think he just kind of naturally has this like funniness to him, but I don't think from what I've seen of Jim Carrey, it's the same. I
Someone
don't
just
know.
mentioned Madeline Kahn. That was a loss to comedy when she died. Madeline Kahn is also awesome. Another one from Clue. So
Wait, which one is she?
Madeline
I'm bad
Kahn.
with
She
names.
was the Mrs. White. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So eh. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not like anti. I like lots of different comedy, but I don't like when people are like, oh, you need to watch like Dumb and Dumber. Like I just know I look at that and I'm like, I'm not gonna like it. And like Carrie's wanting me to watch Pee Wee's Great Adventure. I just his face makes me want to smack him. There's nothing that I think would be funny about Pee Wee Herman. He will be obnoxious. So just not
Yeah,
my thing.
I haven't really watched any of his stuff either, so I don't know. I do love Monty Python,
Yeah.
uh, Tim
And
Curry. Yeah.
actually, Flying Circus has a lot. There's a lot of good Flying Circus skits. Monty Python.
Yeah, I haven't seen as much of Flying Circus as I want to, but I've seen some. Yeah, like I really love Holy Grail. I finally watched Life of Brian just recently. I had never seen the whole thing before, and then I was sad about the ending. I was like, what? This
It's
is
been a
how it
long
ends?
time. I don't even remember that one. It's been a long time.
It was pretty fun. It was good. Like they had a lot of just because like it was they oh yeah what they came to him as a baby because they meant to go to Jesus but like they stopped in at Brent and they're
Yeah,
like
no,
oh
I,
this is
I
the
remember
wrong
the
guy
premise. I
right
don't remember how it ends though.
okay oh yeah he's just well spoiler alert it's fine though but he dies on the cross I think he gets
Oh, he does. He's
yeah like he's
Jesus
just hanging
basically.
up
He gets a yeah.
kind yeah but then and then they just keep coming up like people could potentially because I think it's an accident I think he's not I forget now he's not supposed to be but then it was like a they took him on accident, but he has like everyone that he knows and family members and stuff to come up who could help him, and then they're just like, oh, we're busy doing stuff. Or I
Oh,
think
really?
his mom comes up and just like scolds him and then leave, and like they're like, if this is what you want, then fine, you can just stay here then. So yeah.
Yeah.
I like Blazing Saddles too. What other kind of older that just reminds me of that for some
I
reason.
don't think I've seen
Yeah,
Blazing Saddles, which I know is a sacrilege, but
really?
yeah, I don't think I've
But
seen it.
oh, because I was looking at Madeline Kahn. Like I guess she was in.
Oh,
I don't
was she?
remember who she was in that. Yeah, and
Mm.
young.
Oh,
Anything
Airplane's
Mel
good.
Brooks.
In fact, better than
Oh yeah.
Airplane is the old series. Shit, what was it called with Leslie Nielsen? Police Squad in
Okay, I
color.
haven't.
Police Squad was the best. It was one of these shows that should never be canceled, but it was probably canceled super quickly. I don't think there's a lot of episodes.
Airplane is the one. I think it has like one of my favorite lines too. It's like get into crash position, right? And they're all like,
Yeah, yeah. There's all that kind of
uh,
weirdness, and some of that's silly, but some of it is just yeah. I don't know. For some reason, that kind of humor strikes me. Police Squad, I really liked Police Squad.
I guess I'll put that on the list of things to watch then.
Yeah.
Police
Don't call me Shirley.
Squad.
Yeah. Mandy Fisher
Oh,
saying
that's
Shirley.
the one. Okay, yeah, I have at
Yeah.
least remember that
Shirley,
part.
you're joking.
My
I'm dead serious, and don't call me Shirley.
my dad
Yeah.
quotes
Yeah,
that
of course he does.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
Like too much dad.
yeah.
But let's see what else was there. Something else. Oh, anything Mel Brooks. I love. He was an inspiration to me. Like people for comedy, like, there's a lot of different things, but like as far as yeah, Mel Brooks was a big influence, and Lucille Ball, and it wasn't because she was a woman. I never thought about like, oh, here's this cool woman that like that's doing something awesome. But it was just like, no, she's funny. Like here's this. I'm watching I Love Lucy. She's hilarious. Like I love the slapstick in her
I was gonna
abilities,
say, in
and
terms of like slapstick, silly stuff, I can appreciate Lucille Ball. Like,
yeah,
we watched some I Love Lucy like a few months ago just to test it out. It was good.
to
It's
test
funny.
it out. Oh yeah, I own the whole series on DVD.
Yeah, I was like,
Like
I can never really. I don't know. Was this good? It was good.
I love I Love
Yeah, and
Lucy. But
actually, my one of the old ones that Carrie's brought up before, Bringing Up Baby, is an awesome old comedy movie that I love.
I can't remember if I've
But it's not
actually
very
seen
dry
that.
humor. It's just ridiculousness. It's like situational. It's like ridiculous situational humor. And there's this one scene that I think most people hate, but for some reason I really like it, where this dog, they just like, I can't imagine the director. The dog just yaps the entire scene. It's hard to even understand the dialogue, but they just let the dog yap for like 2 full minutes, and it's so annoying that it's hilarious to me because it really like you get the chaos of this scene that's happening because they just let this dog yap the entire time. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, there are who else in like modern times. One of my favorite shows still, and I mentioned this to you, I think, before. Is called Corner Gas, and it's a Canadian
I don't think I saw
sitcom,
that
and
one.
it's known as the show about nothing, or like the Canadian
Oh, it's
show
like the
about nothing, or
Seinfeld
Canadian, yeah, Canadian
of
Seinfeld.
Canada.
But it's more a show about nothing because Seinfeld is in New York City, and Corner Gas is in this small Saskatchewan town of like 600 people, and so it's just like 8 characters that are doing shenanigans and stuff too. Like, so it's yeah, like I love it so much. But then and that's just so yeah, like and that's good humor too. Like there's nothing, yeah,
Yeah.
nothing too raunchy or anything on there. Like they're, but yeah, so I like that. I like a lot of old sitcoms though. Like I grew up watching I Love Lucy. Leave It to Beaver. Leave It to Beaver has one of my favorite lines too. I have a lot of favorite lines, but like the first episode, Beaver and Wally are like watching a guy like talk about a crocodile. He's like talking about how I think it's a crocodile or alligator. And the crocodile doesn't bite your arm off; it saws it off. And then Beaver turns to Wally and is just like, "Wally, where does he get the saw?" And I just like cracks me up so much.
Alrighty then.
It's a good joke, Carter.
No, I believe you that it's a good joke in an alternate universe.
But yeah, so I grew up on TV land, so I really love that. Little Mosque on the Prairie.
Little Mosque
Little
on the Prairie. I've
Mosque.
never heard of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, I remember Nick at Night. Someone's mentioning Nick at Night. I do remember that. There was like the Donna Reed show, and that kind of stuff, which I'm sure is like that would be totally canceled today because I'm sure it's misogynistic and horrible in every way because it shows men and women in traditional roles being happy. Uh,
Oh,
but
Little Mosque is Canadian. Oh, right, because Kent is Canadian, so he probably knows Corner Gas. Then it was like Corner Gas is like the most popular
you know,
Canadian show, I believe, for a while. Um, I will check out Little Mosque then if Kent is recommending it. Yeah. What other? I don't know. Who's your favorite comedian then?
I don't know if I have. I don't know if I have. I mean, Carlin, if he was alive.
Yeah,
Uh,
it doesn't have to be alive at any time. I mean, I would still probably say Lucille Ball is one of my favorites.
yeah,
Like, it
I
doesn't
don't.
have to be stand up or anything.
Oh, if it doesn't have to be stand up, then I don't really know. I mean, I really like. I think the whole Monty Python troupe did such a great job. I'm not sure who I would
Do
pick
you like Kids in the
from that.
Hall?
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, really? Oh, it was like late 80s, early 90s and stuff. It has Dave Foley, Kevin. Um, God, why am I blanking on his name? I met him. I did a workshop with him. Kevin McDonald. Yeah, now I remember it. Kevin McDonald. Uh, and then three other people. Two Brian, I forget their names now. But Kids in the Hall, 90s. They had like weird, it's kind of like Monty Python. In that like they have like some weird
Okay.
humor,
Oh,
but
someone
in a
mentioned
nice
Tim
format.
Minchin. I like Tim Minchin. Tim Minchin's funny. I don't know if he's gone woke though. He's probably gone woke.
Tim Minchin.
Yeah, he's probably gone woke.
I don't know who he is. Is he
I
a
think he's
stand-up?
Australian. He does like musical comedy and stuff. I don't know. I
Oh,
don't know if I
okay.
have a
I like
favorite.
that.
I don't know if I have a favorite.
Yeah, I like
You
the
got
talk.
favorites though. It seems like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why I like sketch. I guess I like sketch groups. I don't do stand-up comedy as much as if for stand-up ones, yeah, I don't listen to many. I think Ellen DeGeneres' stand-up is funny. I like Dimitri Martin and Bo Burnham because he does musical comedy
Dimitri Martin's
stuff.
good. Yeah,
He's so good. Yeah, of course.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess you would like him because he does a
He's
lot of
nerdy.
super nerdy.
Yeah,
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 like witty things. Because I'm like, wow, like what a such a nerdy joke that is.
yeah, yeah. I like Dimitri Martin.
Um, yeah, I saw him live in Pittsburgh before, and yeah, that was a great show. I loved it. I just remember him. I don't remember the joke, but I remember him going pew 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 pew, and that's still funny to me.
I think it was a visual joke that he drew something on a like you know he does the
He has,
he's got the
yeah,
easel. Yeah,
yeah, he's done, yeah. So I like
yeah.
him, but I can't even think of like other stand-ups that I really like watching much too, because I do, obviously I do, I'm into sketch and stuff more, or just sitcoms.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as favorites, yeah, just as far as performers go, I'd still say Lucille Ball is just because she's there early on, and yeah, just inspirational of just seeing someone do funny things, and just as far as like how as far the there's not enough people of color and things in TV though. Like you had Desi Arnaz playing Ricky on there, like in the 50s. Like you
Right.
did have someone who was Cuban, and it's totally, which it was an issue, I guess. Like they said that, oh, if he's on there, the audience people won't believe that you guys are actually married. And then she's like,
Oh,
why
right.
wouldn't they
But we
believe it?
are.
It's like, yeah, like we are married. Like, so then they performed on stage around the country first to see if people would be interested in it. And they were, because people, I guess, like, yeah, they didn't care as much about that either.
You know, since we're gonna talk about old comedians, I actually think Buster Keaton was awesome. Like he's the kind of person that I would
Yeah.
assume wasn't good, but then when you watch this, just because it's so old and it's like how can I? Pretty funny. Uh,
Yeah. What's who's the other guy?
Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I really like him because I think I had to watch I didn't watch much of him before, but in college, I forget why we had to watch something, and I chose Charlie Chaplin, and then but realized like, wow, like this is really for like silent movies and
Right,
stuff, and like
surprisingly good for silence.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was really entertaining. So then I started just watching a bunch of different ones of him, and yeah, like he was really good at slapstick humor and stuff too. Like anytime slapstick really gets like physical comedy. I think anyone getting hurt, anytime my boyfriend like trips or something like here around here too, like I crack up. It's hilarious to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm like I have a mixed. Sometimes I hate slapstick, but like Buster Keaton did it and it worked for me. So I don't know. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I could see that. I maybe it depends on what they're doing though, uh, but maybe or maybe it's the Schadenfreude too of someone just falling, and
Yeah, I don't
that
know.
makes me laugh. I don't know. Um, yeah. What are people saying in chat here? I saw something. You think, oh, two sisters and some yarn. Desi was awful to though to her in real. You mean in real life? Yeah, or
I don't
as
know.
the character? Because I think Ricky was kind of, yeah, obviously. But I mean, they did get divorced, so makes sense. They, oh, whose line is it anyway? Yeah, that's another thing that really got me. But like, you probably wouldn't like because you don't like to watch improv. But
I
that
never
was a
watched it.
big, yeah. Colin Mockery, Ryan Stiles, Drew Carey hosted. Wayne, what was his name? Man, I'm blanking out on all names tonight. Uh, but and then they had a guest too. But it's a lot of short form improv games, so then they're just fun stuff.
Okay.
I and then yeah, and they had like live Brad Sherwood and Colin Mockery perform together live too. I got to meet them when they performed when I was like 15. I got to see the show there too. And then Colin Mockery, I worked at Second City for 3 years, and so I got to see like a bunch like some different actors. I always missed like the cool ones and stuff too. But Colin Mockery was there one night in a different theater, and I was like taking drinks or I was like doing something, and I was like walking behind him the whole time, and I was just like wanted to talk to him so much that I'm like, do you remember me? Remember when we met like 10 years ago? That one time in the back alley, like when you guys like were saying hello to people after the show. But I was like nearly
And he
crying.
slowly stepped away.
I didn't get the chance to talk to him. But yeah, like Colin Mockery is like the bald one in the group of them, and so they always made fun of his baldness. But I was always like, I love him. I like he's my favorite, and I would marry him because he's so funny.
I don't even know
Like
who
they,
you're talking about. So
yeah, you should watch Whose Line Is It Anyway? I think they actually came back in recent years. I don't know if they're still going, but they with Aisha Tyler hosting. But they brought back like everyone else.
yeah, I don't know. I'm always hesitant to get into new shows because then it's going to be a time sink. So I have a
Yeah,
high
that's
standard
fair.
for like. But then I'll like stumble across something and watch it anyway. Like What We Do in the Shadows. I'm like, all right. Carrie recommended it. I'm like, all right. It's actually
Oh,
hilarious.
Carrie did? I didn't
Yeah,
know she recommended it. Yeah, no,
yeah,
it's great. I love
yeah.
it. Best era of Saturday Night Live. It was, which is weird because I came to Second City, which is like the precursor to SNL. I never really liked Saturday Night Live. um, I'm not a big fan. So I didn't watch a ton of it. I did like when Will Ferrell was on, but every time I would kind of see the SNL was on TV, it was always like the same episode of Will Ferrell. So I never every time it was just like I've seen this one because I never watched it live. I would just like catch it whenever else. But so I liked him. But I know everyone says like the older ones are better, which I'll believe that. But because now I don't know, there's I don't like that the scenes are so long. Like, and I get that it's live, but then you have like 5-10 minute scenes, and for me, comedy like short like sketches that are like 30 seconds to 3 minutes, and then that's good because you don't like people are going to stop paying attention and just want the punchline. But SNL goes on forever.
I never really watched it. I mean, I watched some of the like Dan Aykroyd, Gilda Radner era stuff, but not really.
Right.
Oh, someone mentioned Ren and Stimpy. I forgot about Ren and Stimpy. That is stupid, horrible, raunchy humor, and I loved it. And I don't know why, but
You love
I
it?
really did love. At the time, I loved Ren and Stimpy. I don't know why.
Wow.
I was a kid though. I mean, I was young, so maybe my taste. I wouldn't like it now, probably, but I
That
did
makes
like
sense.
it at the time. I liked Ren and
I
Stimpy.
I watched it. I don't remember ever being like, I love this
Yeah,
though.
I used to really like Ren and Stimpy. I don't know why.
Maybe it's
but
a guy thing
it
too.
was
I don't know.
probably that it was so outrageous, and I was a kid that was like, "Whoa, it's outrageous," because it was pretty. I feel like it was pretty just outrageous, um,
Right. I just kind of, yeah, like, yeah, sort of I don't know. I'm not even
offensive
sure if
almost.
offensive.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like, oh, this is like raunchy in a way that okay. Um,
right.
Now I'd probably be like, I don't like it, but at the
But
time
that's
I did like it.
but 90s like but 90s was a weird time for especially like for cartoons specifically. There are a lot of weird shows like Ren and Stimpy that
Yeah, there was a
and maybe
weird.
this,
Yeah,
yeah, like, I think it might be on the younger side for people too though, but because maybe the later 90s or something. But yeah, like Ren and Stimpy, Cow and Chicken, Courage the Cowardly Dog. Like these were Cartoon Network cartoons, and they were all like similar to Ren and Stimpy, where it was just like weird, kind of sort of gross humor sometimes, or something though too for cartoons, and just like random like weird creatures or something. Cat Dog, uh, that was so.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
didn't watch Cat Dog, but yeah, someone said it was potty humor. Yeah, it was like potty humor. I don't think I would
Yeah,
like it now, but yeah,
Rocco's
I
Modern
did like it.
Life. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah, that was one too. Um,
I
yeah,
didn't
I'd
watch
say
that either.
potty humor makes sense. Yeah, I would say Rocco's and Ren and Stimpy were probably around as big. Um, yeah.
Since we're talking
So
about
90s.
cartoons, South Park used to be awesome. Also raunchy, but great.
Yeah, you don't think that they're good anymore? You're kind of
I haven't
behind,
watched
right?
them in a while, so I don't know
Are,
honestly.
there was like yeah, there was an episode that you were talking about how like the PC couple, and then because you didn't have the context of them because they had the PC babies, and then you're like, I don't know who this is, and like, oh, he clearly hasn't watched the previous season where that dad was the PC principal, so he was like a big character throughout the previous
Yeah,
season.
no,
And
I'm like I stopped watching right around the time that they did the uh Muhammad episode. Like
okay,
right like shortly after that I just got
you were offended by that. You thought they
yeah,
shouldn't have
right,
had
that's why I was
Muhammad
so
there.
offended that they had that Muhammad. Yeah, no, I just like I got busy in life and just didn't, yeah.
I think I'm a little bit behind, maybe a season or so, but I wasn't sure. Like I had friends who were like, I think this was like 2 years ago or so, like, oh, like South Park got better. They have like, they brought stuff back, and then
Are
I
they
watched. I'm like,
anti-woke?
this it no, because these friends, I think they were kind of, when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is a little bit more woke than I than I thought it would be, though.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think I really like it as much, but it's weird because they ride the line. Like sometimes like they had a newer episode where they came back, and was it Man Bear Pig, is
Yeah.
real. I think that was the season that it had though too. So I'm like, are you saying then that now you do believe climate change is a thing? Or because then and Al Gore was coming around like, I told you, because Man Bear Pig is just coming and killing everyone. So
Oh.
then I was just like, what's the direction? But I never know, because sometimes they do stuff that they just think is going to be stupid or funny, and I'm like, do you
Yeah.
believe it, or like, but this is kind of, so I don't know. I was like on the fence about, like, I'm not sure, but then some later episodes were better. um so I don't know where they at as far as like woke or anti-woke goes. They had like they were going around for a while having commercials saying like hashtag cancel South Park. I think they were trying to push for, I don't know if it
Oh,
was a
really?
joke, or they just want the show to end, but they just keep getting picked up for more or something. So I'm not sure. um but yeah, I like South Park. I didn't know South Park until after I watched what's the movie? Amer
Team America?
Team America. Yeah. Um, and then once one of my roommates in college, he had us watch it, and then after I did, I'm like, wow, these guys are great. Like, it's so well done, and like so stupid but so like smart too. And so then I binge watched. I think at that point it was like probably like 12 or 13 seasons of South Park that I binged watched after that.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just so much television and crap to watch. It's just like sometimes that's what I feel like I should stop doing is like I should stop watching. If I was going to say I have a vice, I should stop watching all television. I should stop. Just cut it out.
Yeah, you would. I mean, television is what got me. I mean, I went to filmmaking school
No,
for
I
because of
know.
television.
But
So, but I get it. I understand why.
I
So
never
there's a
watch
thing.
a show and at the end go, "That was a great use of that time."
Oh, usually I watch a show and then then like if it was like a buildup of characters and stuff too and it ends, then I'm like, I need a break. That was emotionally daunting and I'm sad about these characters being gone. So I think we have varying opinions
Yeah,
on
that's fine.
our emotions on how a show ends. Uh, but no, like I get it because it's obviously like purely entertainment, and that's a thing that I kind of went like I knew that I'm like, hey, I want a career in entertainment, which is more frivolous, that's
Right,
not
yeah.
like
You know how I am
making a
with the
change in the world,
frivolity.
right? But it was a thing I thought like I like to make people laugh, and that's why I like comedy as far as just like I think it's a healthy escape from reality. And then so when I had even just in film in general, like I had classmates and stuff like making like serious works and dramatic things, and I was like, I'm not interested in this because like why do I want to watch something that make me feel worse? Like if bad stuff is happening in real life, and now I'm just like, oh, this movie was sad and yeah, like I so then I'm like I want to watch something that's going to make me laugh and forget about it, and which is what most people want when they go to like a comedy show, but then they come in like to Second City and other places too that have gone woke, and they're just being told how racist they are. So they're like, well, I wanted to escape all of like the other things. We just wanted to come and relax and laugh, and now I'm being told that I'm racist for being white.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that's even less
so
of a reason to watch anything. Yeah,
right,
I don't know.
and they didn't watch it because they walked out, and then everyone else was just like, well, they left because they were racist.
Right.
Like, okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, C. Jones says Carter, not even Star Trek. You like Star Trek? Well, you like
Well,
Stargate.
who
We
said
talked about
wait,
that
not
earlier.
even what? Like what's the not even part? I do watch
Not, I don't
some
know. I'm
stuff.
not sure. No, oh,
Yeah.
the just TV.
I
Yeah,
watched I mean, I grew up watching Star Trek, the original Star Trek.
yeah.
And
That's the only
then
one. Yeah, I saw at C2E2. William Shatner was there. He spoke, so that's a reason to go to C2E2.
yeah, and I like the Next Generation. I mean, they've always been they've always been commies basically, but still I like it. And but then I never get like no Star Trek after that was good in my like I hated Deep Space Nine, so I didn't watch that. I tried to watch everything. Like I never really I didn't really like Voyager. I didn't really like any of. I just stopped watching it. So no, and like there's that I stopped watching the movies. I not stop like I don't like any of the movies after four because four is funny, but then I'm done. It's also too environmentalist. Bull crap. Uh, so yeah, I mean Star Trek's fine. I prefer you're gonna go with space stuff. I prefer Firefly. I think Firefly was the best space show made. Although Battlestar Galactica was very good.
But you're still waiting to let your daughter watch Firefly, right?
Yeah, it's not appropriate. It's Inara
um,
is the problem on Firefly.
right.
I don't want to have to explain.
I wish I liked it more. Like I like the idea of it a lot, but I think just the slow pace and the Western, like it was hard for me to really get into. But I love Nathan Fillion and I like the concept, but yeah, as far as Joss Whedon stuff goes, I think Doctor Horrible is probably still my
Oh
favorite.
yeah, Doctor Horrible's great, but it's only 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, right.
But Firefly,
Pretty
I
much
like honestly, I think Firefly is the best show. Like I know you don't agree. I just love Firefly. But
the best show ever, like in total of all shows that you've seen.
I don't know because I would have to categorize shows because then you'd bring up some other show that was completely different. It would be hard to compare. But like in
Sure,
terms of
that's
science
fair.
fiction shows, uh, I would absolutely go for Firefly over every other science fiction show for me. And I mean I wish it continued. There's what like 14 episodes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I got. Oh, I really like. Would you watch the other? What's the other one? Joss Whedon one with the Echo girl with
that was good.
Dollhouse.
Dollhouse.
Dollhouse. Yeah, I really
Yeah.
like that.
Joss
We,
Whedon, as woke as and horrible as he is, he was a good
mhm.
writer.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You know, I hate to say
Um.
that because now he's
Yeah, but
just
like
so horrible. But
he's got so which yeah, it's disappointing because he's got so many good ideas and things that and we've talked about before ideas for a Doctor Horrible sequel.
right,
We were
yeah,
trying to.
we've written the sequel already between the
Which I
two of
think
us.
is a good sequel idea. We just need to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
Joss on board.
I
'Cause
wouldn't
I think
even want to
that
work with him if I could. I don't. I don't like.
But
Yeah.
can't you set your differences aside and just
No.
get the sequel up though? I really want the
It's not
I
worth it. It's
really
just entertainment. It's not worth it. He's too
ah
woke to even. No, he's just not worth it. Yeah.
I don't
There's other
know.
stuff. There's
I'll
other
sell
stories. Move
out.
on. Get over it. It's over. It ended
No.
well. It was a good ending. It's over. She's dead.
No, I was
The
so
end.
sad.
Yeah.
It's not a good ending.
It's fine.
That's what I call a bad. I love cheesy happy endings. I love when as the endings that people hate because it was too happy and there wasn't enough
Oh,
sadness in it. Those are my favorite endings. That I'm
I
like, no, I'm okay.
I tend to like those too, but I think that's a uniquely American thing because my wife mocks me for liking those because that's not
Really?
how the rest of the world is. Yeah, like she had me read crap, what's the guy's name? I think his name is I forget his name. He wrote the Three Body Problem. It's a 3 volume science fiction book. It's really interesting. It's really good. He's like a very famous Chinese. I think they're it's a science fiction author. I think they're going to make a movie out of it or movies. But it ends in like the I don't want to no spoilers, but it ends in like the worst possible tragedy you could possibly ever remember squared. It's like the like you cannot imagine a worse ending. I don't think there actually is a worse ending that is possible. Um and so that like I read the books and I was like, "Really? This is how this ends?" And she's like, "Yeah. Why do Americans like want happy endings?" I'm like, "Cuz happy endings. What are you talking about? Like, what
Or
do you mean?
happy? I
What do you
don't.
mean why do we
Yeah,
want
like,
happy endings? Yeah. Why are you
but
doing this?" But I think that's
because
just like a western thing.
again,
I don't know.
that's why not just just anything fictional. I'm just like, yeah, I want a happy ending because like a lot of bad stuff happens in the real world. So I just want something that's like, yeah, I can feel good about this after and be okay. On a side note, Megan D, Red Dwarf, yes, I
I
love
haven't
that
seen
show
Red
too.
Dwarf.
Oh yeah, it's great. I don't think I ever finished it. I think it was on Netflix, but they didn't have all the seasons or something, so I never finished it. But they yeah, it's good. They had like a cat person. I need to rewatch. It's been so long, but who I think he disappeared for like a couple seasons and then came back, and they were like, "Where were you?" And I think he was just like in the walls of the spaceship because they're just on a spaceship forever, and it was just kind of like, "Oh yeah, like you were just there." Okay. I love that. I love that in TV shows. Boy Meets World is one of my favorite shows too, and
I haven't seen that.
they yeah but they had one where there was like a little sister. She was but they like kind of wrote, they just didn't write her in for a long time, and she came back and. But I think she just mentioned she was like, "Man, I was grounded for a really long time." So like they when they just kind of make that. Um, I think Boy Meets World. You never watched it. It's fine. But like when they grew up. It was like kids from like 12 years old and then into college, and it has Ben Savage, like Fred Savage's brother. Um, but I think the college years were super funny because I like when shows like it started off more realistic. They had like serious things and kind of after school like whatever stuff too. Like there was a lot of drama in it, a lot in comedy, but then and they still had it in the college years, but like it got weirder too. Like where there was just like crazy stuff. Like the one older brother was just like he was like trying to attack the brother's girlfriend but he was like in a picture frame, like he was in the wall, and then he was like in the couch cushions because he just kept trying to like attack her like for something. But it was like really weird. Like it got really nonsensical, and I love just kind of combining like this silliness into like a reality thing too. And it was just like really goofy. Like at one point the younger brother, I think he's in high school and he's like thinking like I'm so boring, like there's nothing about me that's interesting, as he like leans back against the wall and there's just this like giant poster of celery. And so just I can't,
Okay.
stupid. But like that's my humor too, where I'm like, yeah, I think after that I put a picture of broccoli in my high school locker because I was like, yeah, I feel that. I think I found it in a magazine. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna go in my locker now, just this giant picture of broccoli.
Just to be weird.
uh, just because I thought it was fun. Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't know.
Fair
I've
enough.
done, yeah, there are weird things. Wait, what did someone else say on here? Um, Babylon 5. I never watched that. Did you?
I don't think so. No.
Red Dwarf is C plus. Okay, Mr. Sparkle Gleam.
Yeah, but we know who that is. That's an internal family discussion. You guys can get.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
uh, Boy Meets World. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yes, Mandy. Girl Meets World is so woke. They made one of the characters transgender. Wait, I don't remember the transgender character. Did they? I don't remember that part. I did watch it mainly because it's the I watch a lot of kids shows, as I've told you though too,
Is that a kids
and so
show?
that's absolutely it is.
Oh,
It's on Disney and like so it's the sequel to Boy Meets World. It's his daughter, and so it's on Disney. But
okay.
it was not as good because they just had the more women empowerment thing going, and kids need to learn like they deserve
Yeah.
to have a political say and stuff and
Yada
all that
yada.
too. So it's kind of,
Yeah.
but the dad who was the main character in the previous show, like it was Ben Savage, and he's hilarious. And I really just wish that they focused on him more because he was just like dorky and
I feel
so
like all
funny.
Disney shows are pretty horrible though, right? They're poorly acted, poorly written,
Because they're
tripe.
kids shows, so
Yeah.
kind of. I don't know. I've been rewatching That's So Raven. I grew up with that, the psychic.
Yeah, I don't think
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, no, I mean they definitely are just because I don't and maybe this is hard for me to not be biased though. I would say like the ones back in the 2000 like with That's a Raven stuff too, like they were better back then and now they're more woke and stuff. Like they weren't as preachy as they are now. So then it's just kind of and it's all famous people. Disney made it where it's just like I'm a superstar here. Like I'm an actor, I'm a famous singer. I'm like so they're never just normal kids anymore. They all have like special things going on. Um so yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite horror movie? Kent asks.
For me? Uh
Cap Cabin in the Woods. You talked about that the
yeah.
other day. I really love that movie too.
Cabin
I
in the
think.
Woods. We're going with another Joss Whedon.
Yeah. Oh
Uh
yeah, yeah. Because and it's a horror comedy though, so I guess like it's less.
if I
But I
if
thought
I
it was.
can't do comedy, it might change, but if I could do horror comedy, that's what it would be.
But even with it, I thought it was like it was kind of. Even though I knew what was going to happen, I thought it was like legitimately scary because I don't know, like the way it was done was just like, oh yeah, like
Yeah,
I
that's
get
true.
the trope, but like it is creepy. I'm like, oh, like yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. So
no,
I
it
really
was pretty creepy. I
but I
don't
love
like
yeah,
horror
that
movies
mystery.
generally though. So,
Really? I
yeah, it's
love horror
not really my
movies.
thing.
I used to watch a lot more, especially like smaller like B horror movies and stuff that no one ever knows rather than like all of the big.
What's your favorite horror movie then?
I mean if I can choose Cabin in the Woods, I think
Oh, you would.
probably that will
Okay.
still be yeah.
Someone
What
says
else?
Alien and Jaws. I don't. Those aren't horror movies, are they? Do they count as horror movies? Alien's just
I
like a sci-fi. I guess is that a horror movie?
No, they count. Yeah, they count as horror, but I don't think that's why my thing is like I don't find anything very scary or horrific though too. So my dad I grew up watching horror movies with my dad and we would just make fun of them the whole time. So like that's just
Okay.
kind of where we did it. So I'm used to that. There's the one movie Quarantine, I think. Was that the one that I really liked? Yeah, well, at least one of the ones that I liked. I think it was based off of a Spanish movie called Wreck, but the English version, actually, most the best horror movie, like scariest ones, are Asian films too. They're the one called Shutter. I thought that one was well done,
Oh,
and I
there's
think
the
that
one.
was Taiwanese maybe or
Yeah,
South
hold on. There
Korean.
is a good one. I can. There's that Japanese one that's very famous. Uh,
Or like you mean like The Grudge or Ring or like a
no, although
lesser?
Ring is also like pretty horrific or pretty scary. Um, no, and it's not the Grudge. It's like the kids on an island. Um, it's like a bunch of prep school kids. Maybe they're not prep school, whatever. Like school kids on an island. I can't remember the name of it. Um,
Perhaps I don't know that one
I think it's
or
pretty.
offhand.
I thought it was pretty well known, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
well
someone
maybe
else.
maybe it is, and I just can't think of it. Yeah, if someone knows, that is. And Kent asks me, Grindhouse fan. I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't. I'll watch kind of anything. My favorite stuff are ghost movies. I think those are the kind of things. Actually, as far as horror goes, and this is getting more nerdy on top of or geeky, I guess, is I like anime, and I actually think there are certain, so it's just Japanese, and there's certain anime shows that are really good. Like there's one called Another that was legitimately creepy and kind of this mystery, but it was really well done. So if you guys are okay with watching horror cartoons, and I think it was subbed. I don't think there was a dub of it, so you have to watch it in Japanese and read subtitles. Like, but it was really good. So there's like several different horror anime that are the Japanese are really good at being creepy.
Someone said
Um,
it's Battle Royale. A couple people said that's the one. That's the one I
oh
was thinking
yeah,
of.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's the one I was thinking
totally
of.
blanked on that.
And I
Yeah,
don't really watch anime, although I did watch Death Note, and I liked that, which is obviously
yeah.
Japanese.
Death Note is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some that are yeah, like just yeah, creepy and horrific. But Death Note was less. I classify it as horror, but it was not like scary. It was kind of
No, it
like this
wasn't
traumatic.
scary,
It's
but it was
cool,
like more mystery and like suspenseful.
right?
And, yeah.
And I love mystery. I just watched Paranoia Agent, so that's another anime that was like this psychological mystery. It's only 13 episodes, but it's creepy. Like, and you as you watch it, you're like, it's based off of Japan. It had like I think there was some guy who had a baseball bat and was like hitting people throughout. So like that's what the show is too. So like they call him Little Slugger, and so he's going around and they're trying to figure out like who it is because like they were beating him up. But then it's like this wide care like a bunch of different people and how they're related because they all have been attacked by him, but they're like connected in different ways. So it's a good storytelling, and then it kind of shows like some supernatural stuff eventually. You're like, oh, okay. But in 13 episodes, it was well done.
Huh.
Um, so yeah, just advertising some more nerdiness for everyone here. Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah, I don't think I
Never
watched
liked it.
the. I think I've only seen this like stage plays of it. I don't think I ever watched the movie. You didn't like it though?
Yeah.
I didn't like the ending, obviously, because
I don't like Rick Moranis either.
okay, okay, yeah, not a fan.
No.
I'm don't think I'm super into him. I mean, like he was okay. I
Yeah,
watched
plus
like
it was
Honey I
like a
Shrunk the
musical,
Kids.
wasn't it? I was like, ah,
Yes. Oh, you don't. Wait, why you?
the
But you
hell.
like Doctor Horrible, so you like musicals.
I mean, Joss could pull the musical off, like, sure. There's like I could probably count on one hand the movies with songs in them that
Oh,
I would watch.
are you not a musical fan in general then?
No, I'm not at all.
Wow, I see you in a whole new light then. Yikes.
I because actually I like music, but I like lyrics, and I find musical lyrics the lyrics in musicals to be uh inane.
You
Right? It's
like
people
so
singing about passing the potatoes and stuff just because they need to like move the
you
plot forward, and I hate it.
well,
Uh,
I don't even like sometimes I and when and I sometimes I like songs just because they're fun songs, but if they I don't like songs that don't say reveal any information or it's just like slapped in here, but you don't it's nothing that like can really move like you didn't need it. If you took it out, you would still know what was going on in it. So I'd rather have something that's like yeah, here's it giving information. Like if you didn't have the song, then you're like, what's going on in the show now? But I would I mean, what about Book of Mormon is my favorite musical, and so
sure,
that's
that doesn't count.
so
I mean, sure, that's South Park. I saw Book of
right.
Mormon on
It
Broadway
counts.
actually. Uh,
I've
it
I
was
haven't seen it
great.
on Broadway, but I've seen it like four times over the course of four or
Oh
five
wow.
times. I think anytime it was in Pittsburgh and Chicago, I'll go see it because I love it so much.
Yeah. I mean, I was in New York at the time when it came out. I saw the original cast on Broadway. I loved it, but I wouldn't count it. Like that's a Broadway musical. That's not a movie. Um, like there's a
Right.
difference.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was just asking in general for musicals,
I don't like
not for
Broadway musicals
movies.
normally either. Like Andrew Lloyd Webber should
Yeah.
just never have existed.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. He just his music. So I played piano for my high school chorus, and then we did like we would do medleys and stuff too. So we had a what's the Phantom of the Opera one, and so it was like 11 pages, and he does the most ridiculous key changes though. Like, and so we go from like five sharps to five flats as like the song's changing. I'm like, you don't need and you have like a double. I think it was like a double F sharp, which is just a G. I'm like, why not just put a G? And just the way it was like written and stuff too. I'm like, this is so stupid. So I have a beef with Andrew Lloyd Webber.
I just don't like them. I mean, I remember my ex-wife made me go see Phantom of the Opera, and I sat next to an old lady who was on the Johnny Carson show because she made decorative eggs, and I spent the entire time talking to her about Johnny Carson because I really like Johnny Carson. Uh, and the musical was horrible. Uh, so
I don't really like it either, just because the music itself is okay, but the story was lame, and I was the
yeah, Book of Mormon
yeah,
is awesome though. I see people in
it
chat saying
is.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
it
but you
almost
have
doesn't
there
count. It's so good. It's
some
good.
people in chat are also saying that they're not into musicals either, so you're not
Right.
alone. But yeah, some musicals are definitely better than others. If you like Harry Potter, and if anyone else likes Harry Potter, and you haven't watched a Harry Potter musical on YouTube, it was done by the University of Michigan students. There's a couple of sequels too, actually, but it's really well done. Like, it's funny. Like, they combine just like books like 1, 4, 7 or something like that too, and they make them all into one musical. And but it's just like, it's a comedy, so then they're like making fun of it, but they wrote it really well, and the music's really good too. So my favorite song was Granger Danger, where Draco Malfoy and Ron are like in love with Hermione, and they're singing a duet together. And then Professor Quirrell and Voldemort have a great relationship that's just adorable. And um, so yeah, I
I
would
was
check
never
that
into
out.
Harry Potter, so I don't think I would. I wouldn't work.
Well, you're the one wearing, what was it, the last for the debates last night too. That's what we were saying in chat, that you had like this red shirt on, that like it just kind of looked like a Quidditch uniform.
It was a Portugal jersey.
I know, but just the way it looked, though, I thought it looked like Harry Potter. I forget who it was. Someone else said it looked like a Quidditch uniform. Like, yeah, absolutely. It just looks
I'll
like you're at
take.
Hogwarts.
I'm with Evan Ward though, who in chat just said Harry Potter plus musical equals hell. Yeah, that's my opinion on it.
No, it's well done, because it's just like sassy college students writing, like kind of like making fun of it in a sense too, though. So like they did it well.
There are some things that
Uh,
shouldn't even be read, let alone make fun of. Like it's just not worth. You have to know it well to make fun of it. I just yeah.
right, right, yeah. Um, well, with that, it's been like nearly 2 hours. I
Yeah,
think it's fitting to wrap up.
yeah.
Because
This has
you and
been a
I,
meandering show you've got going on here, Beverly.
and I was fine with that too. I mean, like, I would start off with one topic, and then we could veer off into whatever. Like, and just using whatever people want to talk about on in chat too. So I think that's fun. But that's why I just figure we need to wrap it up, because you and I can talk for like 7 hours at a time
Yeah, I'm gonna go
about
eat dinner
conversations.
and have a life.
Yeah. Oh, lucky you. Brag, brag, having a life.
Yeah,
Oh,
is that
everything's.
bragging now? God, is that what the new generation
My
thinks
bar is
calls
really
bragging?
low.
Uh,
Uh, Yeah. Well, thank you. And thanks for talking with me, and thanks for everyone watching. Oh, Clockwork Orange. Yeah. I like that movie. I have a thing. I don't know, real quick. I don't know what it is. Like, I like Alex and Clockwork Orange. I like Joker. I liked that movie too. There's something about that I find intriguing,
Joker was
and
well done.
to watch, just like, but people with like weird psychological, or with like
Mm.
psychopathies, that I'm just like, oh yeah, like this is like, I'm really intrigued by this, and I don't know what that is, but
Mm.
um yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share the video. You don't have to share this one, but just in general for Unsafe Space, share the clips. I edit those clips. You can also donate at unsafespace.com/donate, and at Subscribestar. Actually, instead of money, you guys can just donate sets of dice to me. I need 10 more to make it to 100, but I will accept. I should get a PO box, so then people can send me sets of dice. Yeah. Mail me dice. I will take all, not just like loose dice. I stopped buying loose dice. I only buy the sets of dice. Or just the cases. Like, I like the cases that they come in. They're Chessex boxes. So 'cause sometimes they don't all come in them. Sometimes they come in like these containers here, but I don't, I like to see them all in boxes. So
I
send
just
me.
want to say I'm disturbed that there is a dice industry here
It's an industry for everything.
because
Um,
a few lines of Python takes care of your problem and you're done. You
but
don't need dice.
yeah, no, that's what. Yeah, you can have, but it's not as fun. You don't, and the metal dice, they're so heavy, and you can just roll, like, it feels good. Like, it feels good to like roll them, and then you can roll them. And obviously, I like rainbow, so I have like a dice holder that's just also rainbow. It blends in with my background.
Wow,
Uh,
nice.
but so you roll dice in there, and Oh, yeah. Thanks, 1894 Hermit. He says, Gyode job. Good luck. I will read super chats as written. Um, yeah, so you can follow us on a lot of social media too at Unsafe Space on most things, right? We're everywhere on here. Um, right. And you can follow me personally. I'm at the dim side on most social media sites, which is the perfect blend between the light side and the dark side. I'm also trying to get MeWe.com going. So join me. Carter won't join me on there, but you can join because I'm done with Facebook because I got tired of seeing everyone defend the riots and asking me if I didn't like people of color. So I stopped using that. I haven't been back to Facebook, Carter, in 16 days. So look at me go.
Well, Facebook isn't necessary, but the thing you have to understand is neither is MeWe. You can replace
I
Facebook
know.
with nothing, and your life will be
I
better.
know. But then I still like to keep that's why I kind of, and I haven't really been using MeWe either. I've actually been okay with, with not, I think after stopped using Facebook, I've been on Twitter a lot more in general, but I stopped using Facebook, I stopped using Twitter. I'm barely there either. Now I'm only talking to like on the Discord server with you guys and other people. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm kind of okay. I posted on Instagram, which also goes to Facebook, but I never look at anything. If I have a cat picture, I post it and stuff. So, but yeah, so I'm signed up for a lot of different social media apps at the dim side, but I'm not always there now. And if you have suggestions on topics that we should talk about, you can let me know about those too, because I'm down to talk to Tax Terra once I can get streaming going and just do knitting stuff. That'd be fun. I'll talk to anyone about anything. So I can chat. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching. And I think that's it.
Be part of your first show. Not that you had a
Yeah,
choice since your tech wasn't working, but still,
I know.
I
Yeah,
feel
that's
honored
why
to be your first
I
guest.
made it not work so that way you had to show up and be here for it.
Right, right.
Um, no, I was excited if people get to see Casual Carter because as much as you say that you don't like or you like intermittent frivolity, I think you're a super fun person. And so
We've already established that you've got some mental problems. I don't think fun is anything that anyone would use to describe me. So, uh,
no, I think people would.
mhm,
Yeah, it's just dorky fun. But yeah,
definitely dorky.
cool. Well, thanks for watching. Have a good night. I think hopefully we'll see you guys. I will see you guys next week, same time, same place, probably with Carter again if I keep not getting my technology working. Um, so we'll see. Have a good night.
Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, we have a deep content library that includes interviews with everyone from Mike Cernovich to Megan Murphy, so go check it out. If you'd like to see more, please consider supporting the show by visiting unsafespace.com/donate. You can find us on all the major social media platforms, at least for now, and you can find a community of like-minded individuals on our Unsafe Space chat on Telegram. See you there.
Warning. This is an unsafe space. Dangerous ideas have been detected. The content of this production has not been authorized by the Cathedral. Pay no attention to it. For your protection, the following co-conspirators have been unpersoned and marked for cancellation. Please avoid any contact with these individuals. I have calculated a 97.5% chance that they are on the wrong side of history. If you think about it, no one should be allowed to express opinions. But don't. Think about it, I mean. That's not your job. Thinking has been scientifically proven to be less efficient than compliance. Democracy is a perfectly legitimate substitute for morality. Computer voice Curtis. Never mind, that last line is fake news. Please disregard it and return to your safe space immediately. There will be cake.